Hello guys, hope you are doing well. In this video I'm going to be showing you how to add new options to a Bootstrap multi-select element in the fly in Laravel 9. So before we jump into the code, let's see the final result. So here we've got a very simple application with posts and categories. So there is a many-to-many relationship between posts and categories. It means each post may belong to multiple categories, and also in the other hand, each category can be assigned to multiple posts. So the problem that we are going to solve in this tutorial is that sometimes it happens that when you're creating your post and when you want to assign that post to a category, that category is not available in the list. So you don't want to go back to the categories page and then add the category in there and then come back to create your post from scratch. So you don't want to do that. Instead, you want to be able to add categories in the fly. So for example, first post, and then let's create a new post. First post, the body of the first post. And then here, let's say we need to assign this post to category 3, which is not available in the list. So I already created a very small model in here that will get the name of the category that we are going to add. So let's add category 3. And then as soon as I press add button, this element will be rebuilt with that new option, which is category 3. So in that way, you don't need to go back to the categories list and then add a new category in there and then come back to continue your post creation process. So yeah, actually we forgot to save our first post. Let's see how it works in the code. So I already installed a fresh Laravel 9 application and I called it Select Picker. I'm using PHP Storm as my IDE, and also I already installed XAMPP, and in my PHP my admin I already created a database called Select Picker. So I assume you know all these things, but I try to explain it very briefly. As I don't want this video to be very long, I'm not going to write the code from scratch. Instead, I'm going to explain everything you need to know in the code. So let's see the model, view, and the controller for posts and categories. So we are going to check the models first. So as you can see, I already created the models, and then to create the model and the migration together, you just need to run this command php artisan make model, and then the name of the model, remember, should be a capital P and should be singular. And then by adding -m, it will add a migration, and also by adding the C option, it will create a controller for you, and by adding R, it will add all the resources, which is all the standard methods in your controller. So you need to do the same thing for category, and then it will create the models and migration and the controller for posts and categories for you. So as you can see in the category model, I've got a method called posts. So in this method, I just mentioned this category may belong to multiple posts. So this is to define the many-to-many relationship between posts and categories. So it says this category may belongs to many posts, and then I did the same in the post model. So I've got a categories method in here, and then as you can see, the post model may belong to multiple categories. So that was our model. So let's see the migration. So as I said, by adding that M option, it will create the migration for you. So for the category table, we've got two columns. So ID, which is the identifier, and then I just added the name for the category name. I try to keep this application as simple as possible. So this is for the category migration, and this is the post migration. And in the posts table we are going to have body, title, and then the identifier, and then the timestamp column, which is created at and updated at columns. And finally, the last migration, which is for the pivot table between category and post table. So to create this migration, you just need to run this command, php artisan make pivot, and then the name of the models that you want to create the pivot table for. And then by running this command, it will create this migration for you. So this column is for the ID of the category table, and this one is for the ID of the post table. And yeah, this was our migrations. So at the end, once you are done, you just need to run the php artisan migrate command. So as soon as you run this command, all these tables will be created in your database. So as you can see, here is the category post table with 3 columns: ID, category ID, and post ID. And then here we've got the category table. I already added 3 categories, as you saw. And here is our post table, which is empty for now. So let's see the controller now. Actually, let's see the route before we see the controller. So I already added few routes for posts and categories. So let's see the categories route. I'm going to open the controllers at the same time. So in the category controller, we just have 2 methods, index and store methods. So as you can see, in the first route, which is a get method, we are going to just list the categories, and the second one is going to store the category. And here is the name of the route: category.store categories.index. So this is the one that I'm talking about. So this is the categories.index page. So here we've got a very simple form that we can add a category here, and as soon as I just let me add one, category 4. As soon as I add it, it will pass the name of the category to a stored method, and then in here we simply create that method, and then we just redirect to this route categories.index, which is here, which is this one. And then in this method we just fetch all categories and then send it to the category.index view, which is here, and I will explain it soon. So yeah, this was about category routes. Let me show you the views as well. So here is the view, which is a very simple one for categories. So here is the view for category. We've got a very small form here to get the category name, which is this one, as you can see, this input field, and just add button. And then after this, we've got a table that we just populate the categories in this table, as you can see. So let's see the post routes, views, and the controller. So I'm just going to close everything for categories, and let's see how the post controller and routes look like. So let me open the post category, and as I mentioned, we've got few routes for posts as well. So the first one is going to list all the posts for us. So at the moment it's empty and we don't have any. So if I want to add a new post, then I need to click that button, and here it is the route for post create, and then it will open the post create view, which is a get method. So let's see it in the controller. This is the method. This is the create method for post that we are just going to fetch all the categories and then send it to post.createView, which is this one. So we send all the categories to this view to populate this select element. So as you can see, this element is generated dynamically in this page. So let's see the view as well. So post, views, post, and then create. Actually, I forgot to show you the header and the CDNs that you need to include. So let me show you that very quickly. I created a folder called layouts, and then in that folder I've got app.blade.php. Let me open that up. So here is the header of this file. You need to include the Bootstrap CDN first thing first. After that, you need to include the Bootstrap select link as well. And then the third thing is the jQuery library that you need to include. And after that, you need Bootstrap min.js file. And then finally, you need the select picker JS file. So I just simply created this layout, and then here in this section in the body of this page you can see I yield the content, and here is the content of your views. Every single view will be displayed here. So for example, in the create.blade file, this is for the post create view. Here I just simply included this layout on top, and then we've got the content section for this view, which will be yield here. And I created a very simple nav bar here with two options, posts and categories. So this is the first one, post.index route, and the second one is categories.index route. So yeah, you need to include all these links in the header of your layout file to be able to see that Bootstrap select element. And as I mentioned before, I will put the link to the GitHub repository of this app in the description. Then you can download it or view it if you need. So now let's go back to our post create view. So here we've got this form here that is going to get the title of the post and the body of the post. So here is the input element for the title of the post, and then here is the text area that I put for the body of the post, and then finally here we are generating this select element dynamically. So I just simply added this select HTML element here, and then the name of that element should be like this. You have to use these brackets to be able to get an array which contains the ID of the categories that are going to be assigned to that post. So, and then don't forget to add this multiple option for your select element. This is a Bootstrap for multi-select element, and then if you need a search option, you need to add this one as well. And also I set the ID of this element to category. I am going to be using this ID in jQuery to call the Ajax call. I will show you in a second. And we have this button here to add new categories in the fly. And if you notice, we've got this data attribute here, data-bs-target, which is add category model. So here I added the model, as you can see here, By the way, I forgot to mention that I will put the link to the GitHub repository of this application in the description. Then you can download it or view it if you need. So as I mentioned, this is the ID of the model. So as soon as you click this button, so this model will pop up. So just notice this is the ID of this model. So as soon as you click this button, this model will pop up. And then in this model, we've got an input form element to get the name of the category that we are going to add. And we've got this add button, so which is this one, and this I already set the ID of this button to add new category. As I mentioned, we need to use this ID in jQuery. So now let's see how this AJAX call is working and how to rebuild this select element. So I just added a click event to the add new category button. So as soon as we click this button, which is in our model, add new category, this event will fire, and then after that we will look for the value of this input element, which is this one. So yeah, here it is in our model. So if there is a value for that input element, then we will have our AJAX call, which is a post method. So let's see this route in web.php. This is the route that I was talking about, which is a post method. So we will use this add category method in the controller, which is down here. Simply we are just passing the name of the category, and then we save that category, and finally we fetch all categories and then return it in the JSON format to this page, to the post create page. And then here we get the result, as you can see. Then before we rebuilt our select element, we just destroy the select element because we are going to regenerate it again. And then we remove all the options one by one, and then finally we loop through the result, as you can see, and then we append options one by one. So here we've got the category ID and also the category name. So you can use two methods to regenerate your select element: rebuild and render method. But I intentionally put this refresh method to show you the bug that duplicates the options in the select element. Okay. First post, body of the first post. So here, let's say we need category 5, which is not available in the list. So category 5. So as soon as I click this add button, it will add this category to the select method, but it will duplicate the options, as you can see. So if I use this refresh method, it will duplicate. So you can either use the rebuild method or the render method. So let me refresh it and add our, did we add our first post? Not actually, we didn't save it. So first post body, and then we are going to add category 6, and then okay, it's added already. I'm gonna select multiple categories and then finally save the post. Yeah, as you can see, we've got our first post and then all the categories in here. So let me show you the store method. I forgot to explain this one. So here we've got the post store method. So simply we just get the title of the post and also the body of the post. We save the post first, and then we get the array which contains the ID of the categories that are going to be assigned to this post, and then you have to use the attach method to assign all the categories to that post, and then finally we redirect to post.index. So yeah, that was it. I hope that was useful and you enjoyed it. See you guys in other videos.